For a short amount of time. So I want to hear back from the group. So let's hear some of the things that you guys came up with in your group. What are some elements that you could foresee in an organization that has a high culture quality, a high quality culture?
We'll go first.
Just shout out one, and then we'll go around.
Okay, well, just one. I think the best one was good communication is better than a good process.
Ah, good communication, better is valuing communication. And what else? That's a good one.
Teams being located together, preferably like a bullpen.
Okay, so close proximity. What else?
We have rapid responses to clients and customers.
Oh, responding to customer demand, right? Paying attention to the customer, delighting the customer, as Steve Denning would say, right? What else?
Collective code ownership instead of
Collective code ownership.
pointing out one developer and
Right.
you made this happen.
We're all responsible for this. Whether it's a mess or whether it's great, we're all responsible for it. I like that a lot. What else?
Everyone involved in gathering the requirements.
Oh yeah, it's no siloing, right? Like everybody's part of doing the work, right? Especially requirements, right? We all need to understand what we're building.
And we all need to have a consistent
We need
understanding.
to have a consistent understanding. What else?
High visibility of the quality of the product.
High visibility, transparency, right? Hey, we're not afraid to open our kimono around here, right? What else?
We have a common process and goal.
Hey, common purpose or a goal, right? And process, right? Everybody's rolling the same direction. The bigger an organization, the harder that gets, because people get territorial, right? It's very difficult. The more layers of management you add, the harder it becomes because people are trying to protect their empires, right? And if we're all going the same direction, you can't tell my empire from your empire, and that's a problem, because how do I build it if somebody can't tell the difference? What else? Some other items.
QA is involved in the planning.
QA is involved in the planning.
The whole team from start to finish.
All right. So they're involved in the team. QA is part of the team. Okay. What else?
Everyone on the team is responsible for quality.
It's everybody's job. Quality is everybody's job. It's baked in. It's a value of the team or the organization, right? And what else? So some of the things I've seen are excellence. Right? It's an element. Teams that have high quality think highly of themselves, and they expect highly of those of people that work with them. A daughter that plays competitive soccer, U.S. level, national level, and one of the things, and I'm a nationally licensed soccer coach, and one of the things that is the greatest thing that you can see on a team or on a field, at least from a soccer perspective, I think it translates perfectly well, is when team members demand excellence from one another. Because as a coach, as a fan, as a stakeholder, you can only do so much. But when your peers hold you to a level of excellence that they want to be held to back, man, anything's possible. Because what you're doing is you're exercising the vulnerability to say, when I'm not at my best, I want you to remind me of that. And in return, when you're not at your best, I will remind you of that. And in a way of love, not of anger, not of shame, that together we want to make sure that we're at the highest standard possible. So when I say excellence, it's about when you see an organization set a bar, set a standard for themselves, and require everybody in that organization to be at that standard, that's where quality happens. Collective ownership. When it's not, well, I didn't put the tires on the car. The tires aren't my fault. You need to go talk to the tire department. They're the ones that screwed that up. When it's, hey, man, I'm as responsible for that car as the tire guy. So if it's a tire problem, it's my problem. Right? This is, when you see this manifest, there's no more passing the buck. When a customer calls, it's not the hot potato. I don't know, just give them to somebody. I don't want to talk to them. You stand right up and say, you know what, I'll take my beating, and you're right. I mean, this is not acceptable. Like, we're going to get this taken care of. Okay? The other way I see this manifest is you no longer, when a problem comes up, I see this time and time and time again, it almost brings me to tears when I see an organization grade coming after the team, right? And what's the first thing those guys generally want to do? Who caused this problem? How are we never going to make this happen again? I want to know exactly what. Who gives a shit? You've got a customer that's got a problem. Why don't you fix that problem and take care of business and let the team figure out how to improve to make it better for next time? That's when you start to know you've got collective ownership. Is everybody from management down to the end says, you know what? People make mistakes. It's not about trying to find out who to blame. It's about how do we make sure this is better going forward. This didn't meet our standard of excellence. What's wrong? What do we need to do? What do we need to practice? What do we need to improve? What do we need to change so that we're back at the standard that we're at? When that's the conversation, instead of who do I need to blame, who do I need to shame, you know you're working towards a culture of excellence, right? And of quality. Trust, right? So this goes back to when management, when each other trust each other, they stop blaming. I don't care whose fault it is. We all own it together. Like, I trust that you did your best job. Who here's heard of the Prime Directive, not of the Star Trek variety? Anybody? One person now? Do you know it? Can I put you on the spot? You know? Kind of.
You want to know exact word?
No, I don't need to know exact word for word, but if you knew it, then I probably can't remember exact word for it. But it basically says something to the effect of, we're going to believe that everybody on the team did the best job humanly possible, given their circumstances, given their knowledge, given all of the factors involved. Meaning, hey, we believe everybody here didn't purposely sabotage. We believe somebody did not purposely go in and change code to piss the customer off. We firmly believe that. And when we get to that point, why do we need to blame people, right? Like, I mean, you know, now if somebody was purposefully doing it, now you've got a way bigger issue on your hand. Get that person out of your organization as quick as humanly possible. I think more often than not, 99.9% of the time, I think everybody's doing the best. They might be ignorant in that they don't have the skill set to do it right? They might be lack the communication to understand the requirement or to do something, and that's why it's wrong. But very rarely does somebody purposely sabotage something. And it takes a real jerk to do that. And then continuous improvement. Quality of culture says we're always looking to get better. Always looking to get better. When Michael Jordan would step off the basketball court, do you think he said, I just scored 55 points and we won by 20 points. I'm awesome. I'm not going to practice tomorrow? No. People that are at the top of their game, when they step off the court, step off the field, step off of what they're doing, they look back, and why everybody else is saying is that is the most brilliant performance I've ever seen, they're criticizing the 2 or 3 things that were wrong that they could have done even better. When you have a quality culture, right, that is really, when it's good or when it's bad, it's constantly saying, how can we improve? So hey man, if we're not at the standard, we're talking about how do we get there. If we're at the standard, we're saying, how do we raise the standard even higher? Right? Okay, ways to create a culture. So that's really great. I can talk about all those things, right? I can say, like, hey, when you see those things, when you see those elements, you know you got it going on. You know that you're working in an organization that really cares about what it's doing. How do you get there? I'm assuming none of you guys have an organization that's doing all of those things. It's really hard. I've been around a lot, and I've not seen very many organizations, big or small, that have all those things. And when they do, it's really hard to maintain it for a long period of time. You can get it for a while. It's really hard to maintain it for a long time. So what are some ways that we can create it? Let's go get back in our groups. I'll give you 5 more minutes, and let's talk about how would you